This file was logged as a routine core survey. 9 days later, it was sealed under a different name. What follows is the last continuous recording from Dr. Helena Cortez, geologist, before her final transmission went silent. We rebuilt the audio from a damaged drive. We did not rebuild what she found in the rock.
The boundary clay is always the same. Worldwide, one thin band where the dinosaurs end. Every geologist since Alvarez knows the recipe. Iridium from the impact, laid down in one bad afternoon 66 million years ago. Our core matched the recipe, except the band wasn't a smudge. It had edges. Structure. Like something had written in it on purpose.
She ran the section under magnification for 6 hours. The iridium wasn't graded smooth by settling the way an impact cloud should fall. It came in pulses. Thick, thin, gap, thick. She started sketching it like a waveform before she let herself think the word message.
Marcos said, sediment does that, currents do that, seasons do that. I told him 3 other labs sent me their own cores from 3 other continents, unprompted, all flagged for the same anomaly. He went quiet. Then he asked me not to publish yet, not because I was wrong, because I might be right.
I laid every sample end to end like a printed score. Once you stop reading it as chemistry and start reading it as rhythm, the pulses count. Not randomly. In groups. Long stretches of near silence, then a burst, then silence again. It reads like a heartbeat slowing down, then one that never comes back. I ran the pulses through a spectral plot, the same software we use for seismic waveforms. I wasn't looking for an image, I got one anyway. A shape, wings spread edge to edge across the whole band, drawn in iridium 66 million years old. Something had signed its work. I saw it before I decoded the shape. I know how that sounds. Eyes closed, and there it was. Wings wider than a house, gliding over water so black it looked solid. I'd been holding the sample for 11 hours straight. I didn't stop holding it.
Marcos noticed my hands first. A small tremor, only when I'd been near the core too long. I told him it was the cold. He checked the thermostat. It was 24 degrees. He didn't argue with me again. He started writing his own notes, separate from mine, in case only one of us needed to be believed later.
The ground moved before the herd did. I felt it in the lab floor, or I told myself I did. Titans, dozens of them, walking the same direction, unhurried, like the whole world still had time. I wanted to warn them. That's the part I can't explain to Marcos. I wanted to warn something that's been dead 1,000 times longer than we've been alive.
In 1980, a father and son found the same clay band in Italy and proved what killed the dinosaurs. Nobody asked why the layer varied by more than chemistry allows. One paper flagged it in 1984. The author retracted it a year later, citing personal reasons. We could not find him. We are not the first to almost read this.
This one stood apart from its own kind. Every other creature in that swamp kept feeding, kept moving. This one had stopped, head tilted at the sky, at something the clouds weren't quite hiding. I don't think it was afraid. I think it was the one that understood, and understanding, in that place, looked exactly like being alone. It isn't a picture. I was wrong to stop at the wing shape. The wings are a header, a cover page. Underneath, the pulses count down. Not up, like a date, down, like a fuse. I checked it 4 times before I let myself say the word out loud in an empty room. The last one I saw was in the water. Something that size shouldn't move that quietly. It broke the surface once, looked, in whatever way a thing like that looks, toward the horizon, and went back under. I don't think it came up for air. I think it came up to check the sky was still there.
Marcos found the 1984 paper. Most of it was fine, standard, boring even. Page 11 had a paragraph struck through by hand, not printed. Hand struck, hard enough to tear the paper. Underneath the strike-through, barely legible, the count resumes. He printed it. Then he asked me to delete the digital copy. I haven't yet.
It happened without a cloud in the sky. A shadow crossed the whole swamp at once, wrong-shaped, too fast, and every animal but the watcher ran. It didn't run. It stood in the shadow and lowered its head, the way you lower your head for something you've been waiting to arrive. I've started doing that too, without meaning to. The countdown isn't calendar time, it's readable time. It only resolves once the reader has the instrument to resolve it: spectral software, magnification, a mind trained to look. That means whoever wrote this 66 million years ago wasn't warning the world that ended that day. They were addressing whoever would be standing exactly where I'm standing now.
I told Marcos it means us, not humanity in the abstract. Us, this decade, this instrument, this exact threshold of understanding. He didn't tell me I was wrong. He asked if I wanted to stop. I said the sample was already inside the building. There wasn't a version of stopping that made sense anymore.
They gathered like they'd been called. Species that never shared ground, shoulder to shoulder at the tree line, all facing the same direction, all silent. I've watched footage of animals before a real earthquake do something like this. This wasn't that. This was patient. This was creatures that had time to arrange themselves before whatever came next arrived. My nose bled for the first time on the 9th day. Small, over quickly. The recorder in my pocket picked up static for 4 seconds exactly, the length of one full pulse group in the sample. I checked twice. It matched. I didn't tell Marcos about the blood. I told him about the static. He asked me to stop recording near the sample. I didn't stop. There was a light on the horizon that didn't behave like a sunrise. Nothing ran this time. Every creature I'd seen, the watcher, the herd, the thing in the water, stood exactly where it was and watched it come. I don't know if that's courage or the absence of anywhere left to run to. The recording ends here for 11 seconds.
Marcos ran a new core, a routine annual sample from the same outcrop, nothing to do with our find. He didn't tell me what he saw, he just said it next to the 66-million-year-old waveform. The first 8 segments matched exactly. Ours was the ending of something. His was dated 11 weeks ago.
I keep coming back to the flyer. Out of everything I saw, it never changed course. Wings steady the whole time, gliding into a sky that was clearly wrong by then. I used to think that was ignorance. Now I think it already knew, had known for a long time, and had simply decided how it wanted to spend the last of the light. This was never a warning meant to change anything. A warning tries to stop what's coming. This didn't try to stop the asteroid, it documented it on purpose, as it happened. That's not a warning. That's a record left for whoever came next, capable of finding it. We weren't meant to be saved, we were meant to be told. I tried to translate the last segment and the monitor started dropping frames. Only on my machine, only when I was the one at the keyboard. Marcos ran the same file and it displayed clean. I asked him to read the last segment out loud instead of me. He got through 4 words before his voice stopped working. Not horse. Stopped.
The full translation, verified against 4 independent samples, reads, "We were not the first to count. We were counted by the ones before us. The layer under ours says the same." Elena's notes end there. The next 40 minutes of audio are static, at the same 4-second interval, looping for the rest of the drive.
I tried to submit what we had. 3 reviewers called it statistically unsupported. 1, off the record, told me to withdraw it before my name was attached to Helena's, the same way the 1984 author's was attached to his. I asked what happened to that man. He said he didn't know anyone by that name. Then he hung up. I ordered 1 more core, drilled this year, same outcrop, no announcement, no grant number attached to my real name. It arrived on a Tuesday in a crate meant for wine bottles. I didn't open it for 2 days. I knew what I was checking for. I didn't want to be the one who found it. The top layer, this year's sediment, the part still soft enough to call recent, already carries the first 2 segments. Thin, faint, not finished, but matched, pulse for pulse, against the header of Helena's file. Whatever writes this doesn't need 66 million years anymore. It only needed us to start looking.
This is not a message about the past. It is a process, and it did not stop. It is being written into the ground beneath every city on this recording's release date, a little more every year, and it only becomes legible to a species that has built the instrument required to read its own ending.
Helena stopped answering on a Thursday. Her office is exactly how she left it. The sample is still on the desk. I haven't moved it and I haven't touched it, and some nights I come in just to make sure it hasn't been moved by anyone else either. I don't think she's coming back for it. I think she's still listening to it.
The last frame of usable video shows only the sample, alone, under one lamp, in a room no one has entered since. The timestamp reads 11 months ago. The file's properties say it was last modified 4 minutes before this transfer. No one on our team touched it. No one has touched it since. If a laboratory near you has pulled a core sample this year, ask to see the top few centimeters. Look for a band that shouldn't have edges. If you find one, do not run the spectral analysis. If you already have, this file exists because someone always does. The count does not ask permission, it only asks to be read.